So yeah, last session was kind of a more the ship mechanics are even more complex than we realized.
Hmm.
And
That's all we talked about last session, wasn't it? Was just the ship?
more or less,
Like, no, it didn't go nowhere.
yeah.
It was all about ship learning. And we're still trying to learn about the ship.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well, I guess, I guess now,
Oh,
I guess
Sam,
because it, hmm?
did you not look at the links for the ships?
I've seen a couple of them, but I didn't like click through them. No.
Oh yeah, bro. It's a nightmare. Like, oh, we're just gonna get a ship, and then we just broke
Let's
it down. We're like,
see
oh, wait a
here.
minute. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I spent the past 2 days on and off, literally getting lost in the chaotic pool that is ship stuff. And
we yeah we
honestly,
lit.
if people don't want to deal with it, I think I have a decent enough grasp on it to try and do it for us. Because, oh boy,
Yeah, we legit thought we were just gonna buy a ship and be done with it, and then we actually started looking in the depths of it. It's like, yeah, it's not quite
um,
that easy.
so something just because I'm putting something together at the moment, since me and Magnus were just talking about some stuff pertaining to the ship, it seems like if we want anything aside from literally like a place to sleep, a place to drive the ship, and the ship itself to be a ship, we need to purchase all of the other things. Kind of like when you get a house, you're gonna need all of your equipment, refrigerator, desks, chairs, all that stuff. Gonna need to buy that. That being said, um, is everyone okay if they have to put in a bit more money into this ship? Because if that's not done, we can't really do much else in terms of literally sleeping and driving.
That's fine with me. I don't really know.
Because
Depends
the
Uh,
most
on
I'd
how
suggest
much.
people add in as extra funding would be another 20. I think I could make do with something with just 10 from every person, including myself. That'll give another balance of like 50K to just kind of fit the ship with stuff in it. Um,
I mean, sure.
20 would be 100, which would just be ship price, so we would have about the ship's worth inside the ship. So I'll leave that to you guys, and I'll change up certain things depending on how much people want to invest, at least at the moment, for this
I
ship.
I will also say the more I look into the system as far as modifications to items goes, the more bloat I'm seeing. Certain modifications overlap with certain other modifications, and it's one of those things of there doesn't need to be so many modifications based on what is actually here. So I'm going to be going through and trimming some of this bloat out. So there will be less you need to spend money on in terms of modifying gear. In addition, I'm going to be implementing an upgrade system where, simply put, say you wanted to upgrade from something to something else, and the thing you want to upgrade to is 5,000 credits. The thing you have is 1,000 credits. It would be cost of thing you want to upgrade to minus cost of thing that you have already divided by 2 for the cost of materials. And then, however long it takes to craft the item, based on the modified cost. So this will save some time, some credits for everyone, and reducing the number of overall modifications will also mean that the ones that are where they are, where it makes sense, will be more meaningful. And also, you're not going to have Pathfinder levels of numbers in 5e. Because I'm sorry, no. And also, I'm going to be taking out the item that the upgrades that basically give you super expertise. Because, like, what is it, John? There's you can.
There's always advantage with expertise. There's advantage and you get an extra dice, and there's an advantage you get 2 extra dice.
Yeah,
There's
I'm.
mastery, high mastery, and grand mastery, and I'm like, what?
Nah. Okay. So there's a lot of bloating
There's
that
that.
overcomplicates the way the system works that I'm going to be cutting out. Gaining expertise and skills is going to be more possible in this game than in standard 5e, because there will still be modifications you can put on items to gain expertises. But mastery, grand mastery, all these things that give you always advantage and always elven accuracy type advantage and so on and so forth, nah. Those are way down the line anyway, so you're not even gonna know they're gone.
And then we talk about like not really wanting to do space combat because it seems like it's really fucking complex.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say the ship is gonna be a base, a base and a method of travel more so than actually fighting in it. You're not gonna want to fight in space anyway, beyond maybe fighting starfighters that are chasing you. In which case you have an advantage anyway, in theory, because you have a bigger ship with more armoring and shielding. But, like, who knows what the Imperial fleet's main starship is? No one? Okay, that's fine. It's a big Dorito of death called the Imperial Star Destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It would flatten your ship in a few rounds, one-on-one. They're never one-on-one. So, like, beyond fighting some like, TIE fighters, which are easy by comparison because they're unshielded tiny ships that, yeah, they're fast and they have twin laser cannons, but that's about it. You're not fighting much more than that in space. Unless it's pirates or something. And in which case, I don't know, boarding them might be a better idea. Which I will make possible, because I ship combat doesn't sound fun. But yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing that we will look at, not being a thing, and yeah, anyway.
That's a bridge we'll burn when we get there.
That's a bridge that's already on fire. And the gear stuff is a bridge that's also already on fire, as I have already started making documents with the modified modification lists for weapons, armor, and such. That being said, For anyone that would, for anyone who needs one, you can have the first level of stat mitigating modification for your weapon for free. If you don't have a modular chassis and you have the ability to craft or have 1,000 credits to pay Yanni for the standard modular chassis for your weapon type, you can do that. Because Yanni can craft 1,000 credits pretty quickly. For you, Sky, I know you need a recoil reducer or a recoil compensator for your rifle. So you would have a recoil dampener Mark 1 in your weapon, which causes the weapon to lose up to a strength requirement of 15. Or if you need a grip that, or if you need a core that allows you to, or if you need an item that sorry, don't know why I can't talk tonight. Or if you need a modification to your weapon that allows you to use a different stat because you meet the requirement, you can instead have that as a first free mod. You'll just have to create it.
Get all my mods again.
You'll just have to make sure you have the chassis that is able to equip it. So, for Sharn, the Finesse and Mighty handles are premium. You can actually use, if you're still using a versatile weapon, you can use the Finesse handle. If you're using a two-handed weapon, the Mighty handle for the lightsaber. Same with anyone else that's using a lightsaber. Vibro weapons have Finesse and Mighty oscillators that are the same. They are premium. Pretty sure the modular chassis that I gave out to people are premium. Sharn, you actually have... You don't have a modular chassis for your lightsaber because I'm not sure which lightsaber you want. Instead, I gave Sharn a Jedi robe as his enhanced item payment from the guy.
Alright, I'm gonna have to look into what that is.
Yeah, I'm sending you the actual item momentarily.
Alright.
So, if we want the ship to be pretty skilled up, which I think is like the safest bet, this will also get us like the different suites we need for like basically the rooms of the ship. It looks like the cost is going to be in that range, nearing another like 100,000. If people are okay doing the 20,000. I'll make up any other difference beyond that with personal cash, because I'm not going to ask you guys for a single credit more, since that's kind of like it's getting to be a lot of cost. Is that okay with everyone or no?
Yeah. I can drop in another 20k.
Yeah, I think I can fork in another 20k as well.
You said another 20?
Yeah, another 20. It would be 40 total from what we got paid from, but we did get paid over 50, I think. So, you know. But It's also going to take a while for the ship to be built, I'm pretty sure, so we can just make up that money with, like, doing stuff around here while we've got some time if we want. If nothing else, I'll have Yanni craft and sell his craft to earn some income in the meantime. That way we at least have something going towards like kind of a ship fund.
There you
So,
are.
Magnus,
Some
a quick question for you. Stuff involving like artificial intelligence, if and when that is a factor for the ship, would I be able to do that of my own with like the resources that I already kind of have, or would I still need to take it to a shop for like AI? Because I feel like that's more like coding and stuff at that point.
it really depends on the modification in question.
Let me send you the two real fast.
It's one of those things I'll get you an answer to later.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see if I can cut a corner with that and or just, I mean, not need to rely on a place for it because technically speaking, Yanni wouldn't in lore, so it's these two.
Alright, I'll take a look at them later and get you an answer. Sam, I sent you the robe in DMs.
Alright.
So, yeah. Yeah. So that being said, how long is the ship going to take? Because the party has downtime in that particular case.
Magnus, if you want to do the math for total calculation, it's not going to be a 1-to-1 to the day or anything. Feel free to do the calculation assuming a 220,000 credit total cost.
Okay. But yeah, that means you've got quite some time to craft and earn more money. So is there anything that the party would like to do in terms of crafting and perhaps or just looking for other jobs? Because I know having this much money, the whole way of getting your gear modified just opened up with how much money you've got, even considering the
I do need to actually finish leveling up my character, since we're level 5 now, right? So,
correct.
yeah.
I technically still need to
I don't
pick out
remember if I added another hit die to my character or not, but,
Doesn't look like it. You have 41 max, so no.
okay. Alright.
I remember you having that before.
Alright, so roll
Yeah,
another hit
you
die.
should have. Given your con score, you should have a minimum of 8.
Well, no, I just remember he has the 41 since at one point I remember the joke. There was like a little bit of a kind of funny thing going on where it was like 39, 40, 41 in terms of like hit point numbers, and I was like, that's pretty funny. And he was the 41. Since we're all kind
Charm,
of nearing the 50.
how is your health currently? Oh wait, at fifth level, your health minimum should be 44.
Minimum should be
assuming
45.
all average. So you haven't.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'll roll another hit die then.
Yep.
It's hit die plus con modifier?
Yeah, you can just click the hit die thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you got an extra
So
10.
yeah, you got well above average there. So you're at 61 total health at the moment. Oh wait, no, 51. You're right. 50.
Yeah.
I think Amina is going to try to do her weapon mods by herself and see if she can't figure out how to do them herself.
Okay. If you want to learn how to, do you have arms tech tools?
No, I have Tinker's implements.
Okay. Using Tinker's implements, I would allow a double benefit here.
Okay.
You can start essentially learning the craft of arms tech,
Mhm.
and you could, instead of a straight 50 credits per day per level, you would get 75 credits per day per level.
Okay.
Do you have the technology skill
Yeah.
proficient?
Fucker.
Okay. So unfortunately, you don't get any bonus from that, so your crafting time would be 75 credits per day per level, for a grand total of 75 times 5, whatever that is. I'm not doing mental math in my head. $375.
I just realized that I took this at 4th level. So I need to add another, looks like 7 lightsaber forms to the amount of
Have
lightsaber forms I
fun.
know. So I'll be burying my head in books before I even touch 5th level.
That's fair.
Honestly, at that point, do the 5th level and then loop back to all the forms you're gonna need.
Yeah.
I guess that would be a better idea. Yeah.
Actually, alright,
Let's
wait,
look at
so
5th level first.
we were saying that nobody has piloting, right?
I have piloting.
I do.
Okay.
I kind of do as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Technically, a lot of people have piloting. It's just the fact of piloting is an intelligence-based skill.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, so if you're dumb as a rock, then it's not gonna be not gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
So yeah, like,
I should learn. Maybe I should because I know we were talking about like what people's roles on the ship would be, and like I think Yanni's just gonna be the designated tech person, right?
So I could really fit a really good mechanic or pilot slot because 20 intelligence be like.
20 intelligence go brrrr.
Yeah, 20 intelligence means whatever smart thing you need me to do, I can probably do that for you.
Yeah. Because I don't have all the same skills as you do, and you're kind of fitting yourself into that role. So I mean, yeah, I think I'm gonna just have her start instead of learning arms tech stuff, I'm gonna have her start on getting a piloting proficiency.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's perfectly within the realm of possibility too.
And then just have Yania fix whatever mods I'm buying for my gun and put them on.
Yeah, and
if
I
you
mean-
ever want to learn arms tech stuff, technically speaking, I'm a pretty good teacher at it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: you can assist him in doing it, and that will speed up his crafting speed as well, because even unskilled assistance is an additional 50 credits per day per level toward the crafting. So, like, working together not only benefits you in the way of learning the craft, but also helps speed up the crafting time. That's why I offered Obalak that's why Vasani offered Obalak the assistance in modifying his lightsaber, because he'll learn and it'll be faster. And that's also why I'm associating skills with specific crafting implements as well, because having proficiency and or expertise in the skills will also affect your ability to modify gear. So, like, I'm building a robust crafting system that will make it more possible for you to modify equipment on your own. Point I'm getting at. So, I do have one question.
What's that?
Ship type. What ship type does everybody seem to agree on? DM recommendation, courier. Personally. However, you do not have to take that.
I mean, what were you working on for the ship there, John?
So something I'll be honest, I didn't technically get to that because I technically don't think we need to choose at the moment. Because that's at second tier, and we only have enough money to technically max it out at first tier. Now,
So you do still have to choose because it's your initial plus
Bond,
one.
right?
Yeah, you do choose at tier 0.
Okay, with what I put together, we would want something that boosts. We had a 15 Magnus. What was our odd number in the stats?
A 15.
15. It would be the one that boosts dexterity, so that would be.
I believe that's actually.
It'd be courier then, unless we switched around the dexterity and the wisdom. But at the moment, I have in my ship idea, I have a 16 in the dexterity and a 14 in the wisdom because a little more speed, a little less firepower. Technically, I think wisdom is used for some of the ranged attacks of the ship, but like, hey, shouldn't
You
be
could
shooting too
always
much.
you could always put 15 and 15 and give them a payout later. Because remember, you
Technically
get +2 to your ship stats every tier.
Right, and
So you
so the
could have
first
16s all around.
So technically speaking, I already used those, and this ship that I put together has an 18 strength because of it. Because I looked at how much it costs to go from tier 0 to tier 1, it's less than 10,000 credits, so consider that done, if not by the party, by Yanni's own pocket. Like, that's just a no-brainer. But I technically could slide that down and give the ship 3 16s. That is completely valid.
Yeah, I mean.
So at that point, it would be any of the things that increase dexterity, strength, or wisdom. So missile boat, freighter, missile boat, courier, or what's the strength one? Gunboat. Okay, so 2 of them are the ones that would be from the one shipyard that is a little risque to go to, actually. At that point, at least for my personal ship suggestion, the one I put together, I'd probably say courier because of the lore implications of going to the military shipyard. That's just a little bit of a risk that in character seems a little not worth it.
Yeah.
But if the party wants to, it is technically a consideration to make. So.
Yeah, I think I was also on board with courier last time. I'm not super like gung ho on any particular thing. So as long as we're inconspicuous, it doesn't matter to me.
What about the rest of you? What are you thinking? Has anyone else put a ship proposal together, or
At this point, I really don't care.
too complicated? Eh, um, yeah. All right, just so I guess in that case, I mean, unless there's any objections, because it is pretty complicated with shift putting together. For the time being, first ship, we can make it be a courier, and if we ever want to switch out and have a different type of ship, or go for a different model type with like a smaller or bigger ship, uh, we could do that. But for now, it'd probably be best to do the courier. Which does give us more speed, and I believe we were talking about the idea of avoiding combat move fast. It is the moviest of fastest.
Yeah, I like the movement.
Oh wait, is Courier the one that gives 50 additional speed?
Yeah.
What the hell did I say then, and why the hell was I saying it?
You said courier.
Oh!
Courier's
You said
50,
courier.
freighter is more storage. Gunboat is extra damage, missile boat is certain ships that we attack would have disadvantage on certain saves. Navigation is a nav computer at no cost, which I already put one into the ship's calculation, so that's not a benefit we get. Though we would get the rolling twice on a hyperspace mishap table. I'm still not entirely sure what that means, so. And the yacht, which is more of a meme, we get the recreation modification, which is just entertainment, and then hosting guests would give them disadvantage on intelligence and wisdom checks. So, I mean, if you wanted to give the people we're hosting for disadvantage on int wiz, we would do a yacht. Otherwise, that's a joke. um, which I don't really expect us to have too many people that aren't us per se on the ship unless it's for mission work. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were stuck between like a courier or a nav last time.
last time we were stuck between courier, freighter, nav because all three of them have particular uses that are really nice. Freighter's iconic, courier speed, and navigator is safe. So it's like they all have like that drive towards them. Um, but yeah, with at least the stats that I ended up slotting in would have to be a courier at least for my proposal. Because of the way the 16 ended up at the end of the day.
I am the DM. I only get an official vote if there is a tie for some reason. So, talk amongst yourselves, damn it! Have opinions, damn it!
How dare you? I don't want an opinion.
I refuse to have an
Buddy, I
opinion.
don't.
Besides, I already gave my opinion.
Yeah, personally, I don't really care too much. As long as it moves us in a relatively reasonable time period, it's fine by me.
And Raj sounded like he didn't really care either. Sounds like it's just too hard to make a fucking ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if no one else has strong opinions, let's just do courier. And if and when we regret the decision, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice if we were able to fight, but considering that we're probably not gonna fight a lot, or we're gonna try and avoid fighting as much as possible, then, like, only have enough armaments for self-defense, and that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We got a really good shield on this make though, with that 18 strength that I mentioned. And a specific shield type that we can have for like our shield itself. 85 on the shield points. So like, it took a lot to get through it, and by that point, we already left. So
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Consequence though, we don't have a lot of con on my proposal. 12 con. Hull's looking kind of a little nervous with the 39, but hopefully we'll need to even get to that point.
Yeah, but on a ship that's upside of that is on a ship that's more made for getting out of the fight. As long as your shield holds and you get somewhere you can refit, you're good.
Yes.
So, having said that, if there are no further objections, then I think I'm going to move John's proposal into the position where the party ship is and show it to everyone.
Just making one minor change due to a cost restraint that I noticed. Oop. I think the sheet's reloaded.
Yeah, I changed the permissions.
Okay.
Oh, holy balls, dude. What did you do?
What did he do?
Convenient because
Oh, goodness.
everything else hurts my head.
Holy balls, dude. What did you do?
Effort. 2 whole days of
Mag-
effort that I'm
Mag-
not
Dude.
getting back.
Magnus,
You're-
you're talking about John, the guy that was up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and legitly did this math program on a movement of how fast we were flying per speed and actually posted it in our Tuesday or well, Friday game. You should see what he fucking did, okay?
If I have 5 a.m. crack energy, I fear for what everyone else sees because I think I'm perfectly
Jesus.
fine.
Jesus Christ, my guy.
This isn't even my final form. No.
I mean, so...
I had to nip the
here's the
data from
thing.
the ship though, but hey look, nothing a lore check can't solve. Let's be honest here.
Here's the
We're good.
thing. With a 20 armor class, the damn thing's gotta hit you first.
Yeah!
Before
That's the
hull
fun
even
part!
matters.
That's the fun part! Also, that specific AC is assuming that Yanni is the pilot at the time, since we're using certain statistics from the pilot, and Yanni has the massive intelligence modifier, so... But,
Oh.
Magnus,
Hey, you remember why Yanni's been traveling around in his little, like, small ship and he's been perfectly fine? Look, if he ever drew aggro, let them have tried to shoot at him. It didn't work.
Magnus, check your DM real fast.
Oh, did you send them the picture?
I sent them the picture.
The fucking 5 a.m. crank energy that I had for absolutely no reason, no caffeine. Yup.
Oh, God.
And the thing is, this is not technically optimized for defense. I'm sure there's more that can be done, but I don't think we care. And if you guys do, I will do that not today, because I've been thinking about this too much today. My brain deserve a break.
Oh, Raj, by the way, I found something that you might want. It's an exotic.
Station spot. Yes.
It's an exotic weapon that acts as both a
Ooh.
physical weapon and a light weapon,
Ooh.
meaning you would only need to modify one weapon. Or, well, technically, no, you would have double the modifications on one weapon, and then one set would apply when it's using kinetic, one set would apply when it's using energy, but you get my point. It's inherently disguised as not a lightsaber.
But it is a lightsaber, and yeah.
Correct, it functions as a double saber or a tech staff.
Hell yeah, that's
But I
pretty
can pull
cool,
it out.
yeah.
I can pull it out and be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. They wouldn't even think twice about it.
Correct.
Unlike if I pull out the actual double saber, they're gonna be like, gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah, whereas, it will take you getting proficiency with an exotic light weapon, because it does count as an exotic light weapon, but that's a possibility for you there, buddy. Just wanted to pass that one there.
And I could use the chassis for that.
You actually could, because it is a light weapon, and actually, just to keep it simple, if you get bonuses that can apply to both modes, they apply to both modes.
And if it applies to one or the other, it'll apply to one or the other.
Correct. So, like, if it's a plus weapon modification, it applies to both modes. I don't want to get into the... I don't want to get too far into the exclusive modes thing. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, that being said, I think at this point it's safe to say that the party has commissioned a ship to be made.
Commissioned a ship to be made, all in, with the exception of actually going there and doing the roleplay, unless we're going to kind of
Oh, I mean,
quicken past that, because yes, that is also fine. Also, a nice reliable ship that I would really hope this thing doesn't get damaged significantly, because yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, the party having a plan in mind. Let's actually do the roleplay for the commissioning the ship, just to see if there's any benefits you can get based on checks, should you have the mind to make any. So, I said it was Corellian shipyards for courier and freighter, if I'm not mistaken.
Believe so.
So yeah, a lot of the shipyards are up on the top level of Coruscant, simply because making a very large ship, you probably need space. So that will bring the party up to the surface once again. You, I would assume, board a shuttle, which I'm not going to make you pay for because it's like 5 credits, and as far as I'm concerned, and I don't really care that much to micromanage your credits.
Yeah, that's fine.
The way up is... It takes longer than when you were descending because the shuttles are not as fast as the guy's ship, but you do eventually make it, and making your way toward the Corellian fleet yards, you do notice that there are many ships being made by many different, well, primarily the 3 companies I mentioned, Sinar, not Sinar, is it Sinar? Sinar. Yeah, by the 3 companies I mentioned, Corellian fleet yards. Shit, I really should have wrote you down. Point is, there's a lot of ships being made. You even see that in some of the shipyards there are new Doritos of Death being made, aka new Star Destroyers being made on the on the surface of Coruscant. It is a breathtaking sight in terms of, if you are into the engineering of things, it is definitely impressive, because making such large space frames in atmosphere is a feat in and of itself. The shuttle takes you to the Corellian shipyards building, the administrative building, and lands a bit of a ways away to give you the ability to get out and get your bearings before walking right into the building. As you land, you notice that, yeah, there are quite a few Corellian make ships around. For Raj's entertainment, there is at least one YT freighter being made. No, it is not the Falcon, but there is a YT freighter in process of being made. Damn.
He eyeballs it.
What?
He eyeballs it walking, watching it.
You notice that there are both organic workers and droids moving about, doing various work that many of you probably don't understand, but assuming that they are competent at their job is all necessary. And yeah, it's fairly obvious where you need to go. There is the shipyards all around you, and then the entrance to the administrative building right in front of you. What do you do?
I have a quick question because I know some
No!
tables
Yes.
do it different and whatnot. Is using the tech power that lets me have slightly more charisma for like a social situation something that's fine to do, like just enhance ability charisma, or is there like some kind of negative implication of using that? Because he would just be
So
using it in terms of like having a bit more clarity for his eloquence, so he uses the right words that he wants to use to explain what he's meaning.
So the negative stigma would be if you are negatively affecting the other individual. Enhancing your own ability wouldn't necessarily be looked down upon in most cases,
Yeah,
especially if
and
it's a tech-based thing rather than a force-based thing.
yeah,
If
how
it was a
I
force-based thing, you were screwed from the start.
yes, how I would like to justify it, because I don't particularly know what the technology would be, is a combination of him having done some research and just like, brushing up on his terminology so that,
Yeah.
as he's talking, it comes off a lot more like, okay, he gets it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's easy enough.
That would have been done like while, like, kind of like a mixture of while we were taking the shuttle and like, like just waiting to get here because
And
we
taking
gotta
good
do some
notes.
conversation, yeah. So he'll look to the others and he'll say, "All right, so I've ran a few numbers. There's a few things I'd want to run by you guys just to make sure I've got everything in order. Um, First off, anyone Anyone okay with living in just, decent condition, not exactly luxury? I could work that in, but we'd have less space.
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, a
Um,
soft mattress doesn't take any extra space over a hard one. It's just different firmness.
room size as well is a major factor, so I made sure everyone has just enough room to live comfortably in the ship. Nothing, you know. I accommodated it for people much bigger than me, of course, because I don't need too much.
I mean, she looks over herself. Do I look like I carry much around?
He just gives a bit of smile. Major thing I was thinking of though, I know you guys like having, just general practice grounds or maybe like a meditation area. Uh, I could work that into what I have in mind, but that's directly competing with a kind of like larger, more peaceful kitchen area for us to, enjoy breakfast as a group, because we are gonna have to make some sacrifices in terms of what we have available. What do you guys think?
Well, that's more up to them. I don't really need to. I don't personally need big sparse space, but they might want it.
Out of character, the idea is there's a meditation suite that allows you to get, I think, more force powers as a result of spending a long rest there. Force points, I mean. Um, but the mess hall has I feel like out of character has a little more like role play usage, and also does give us the benefit of having, I think, advantage against diseases if we think that'll come up at some point, being in a foreign planet. No getting sick, hopefully.
I mean, I will say 2 of the party is not going to have that problem anyway because
Paladins, right?
Guardians do still get immunity to disease. It's just a little later than normal. But,
Yeah.
um, my as a DM, I would say if you're gonna put one in for for example, if you're gonna put the meditation chamber in, perhaps also put the tech equivalent in because I know there is a tech equivalent.
Not enough space, unless
That's my point. So
yeah.
unless somebody objects, that would be my opinion on the situation. Though again, I only really get a vote if there is a tie. So
Yeah, I
again,
mean,
everyone
if
have
there's no
opinions,
space for,
please.
yeah, if there's no space for it, then I mean, there's no space. It'd be cool if we had the room for it, but
For
Say yes,
Sharn,
it.
for
That's
Sharn, they would rather have a meditation space. So
Yeah, same with Obelec.
okay. If that's the case, he'll kind of like jot that down and say, we'll make a little bit of change here and there to kind of accommodate both. And okay, I think that should be everything. He's kind of like doing stuff on his little wrist pad, just kind of like mathing out certain aspects of what he's guesstimating a ship size and like, what could be in the interior. And he'll say, "Okay, we'll do the meditation, and we can still set up at least in the main area some chairs and stuff to still kind of eat. It's a matter of like particular comfort, of course." Okay. Does anyone have anything particular wants in mind before we head in completely? Because I would like to try and see if anything can be kind of more in our favor rather than asking too much of the workers here.
I can't really think of anything.
Okay. And he'll look to the others if that seems to be like the popular take on it. I'll say, all right. I think we can head on in then, and let's get this started. It's gonna be one whole process.
Sounds good to me.
And yeah, he looks particularly excited. He likes stuff that involves like ships.
Alright, so heading into the building. At the front desk, there is a droid manning the front desk. Welcome to Corellian Shipyards. How may I assist you?
We're here to commission a ship.
I see. And what kind of ship would you like to commission?
And he's going to basically flip onto like the wrist pad thing, just double check something, and say, currently looking for a courier model. And do you have anywhere where I could upload specifications, or should I list them out? Because I do want to try and save a bit of time for you and everyone else involved. He has a big
That
response.
is... I am simply the one to direct you to the individual you will need to speak with. If you are looking for a career model, then I will call the individual who heads that specific department up.
Okay.
And the droid starts essentially what is typing on a terminal and says, please have a seat in the waiting area while I call the proper individual.
He's gonna go over and take a sit.
So, it is about a 10-minute wait until the individual comes down, but when the individual does come down, it is a relatively well-dressed human that it looks like he just got out of a meeting and maybe didn't have the greatest of times, but also is most certainly more interested in putting on a good customer service face and whatnot. Straightening out his tie, whatever the Star Wars equivalent is, he says, "Ah, good day to you all. I hear you're looking to commission the creation of a new ship. So,
Sure.
if you'd follow me, I would like to take you back to my office and get an idea of what you need.
Of course.
If you'll follow me."
And Yanni will note the particular like shift of demeanor. Nothing he'll comment on just yet, but you know, he'll keep that in mind with how the interactions go.
He leads you back into an office, and as you get closer to where his office is, he taps a button and droids bring more chairs, as there's only 2 in the office by default for guests, so 3 more are brought for you. He makes his way behind the desk and has a seat and says, "Please, make yourselves at home. Have a seat."
And Yanni will go over, take a seat, and he'll say, "So, honestly, just a bit curious and hoping that it's, you know, not overstepping a bound, but everything okay? You seemed a little Out of it downstairs.
Oh, I mean, he presses a button. Just don't want anybody to be able to hear what I'm about to say, you know. Uh, Imperial contracts are a bitch, man.
Oh.
Between the taxes and the absolute hell they put us through. But that's not gonna affect our transaction here. You all look like fine folk, and I'm guessing none of you are particularly imperial in persuasion, seeing the composition of your group. So, I
Our
think
own
we're gonna
thing,
get
yeah.
along just fine.
Yeah, and he gives a bit of a smile and says, and hopefully they kind of like wean off a little bit. I can only imagine the nightmare it can be to deal with people that are a little less empathetic, not willing to negotiate properly.
I mean, you can call them bastards if that's what you were gonna say, because they really are. There's a reason why some of our shipyards are known for dealings with individuals that the Empire's not exactly on. Anybody that knows anything about the wider galaxy can confirm that is a fact. If you've been off of your home planet, yeah, some Corellian shipyards flat out sell to anyone, really.
Well,
So,
hopefully this is a mixture of more simple and honestly a little bit of fun, because I've drafted up something pretty interesting that I don't think you've probably seen a bit of in a moment or two.
he arches his fingers, leans his elbows on the table, arches his fingers, and then sets his chin on his arched fingers. Oh, really? Bit of a
And
shipbuilder yourself, are ya?
a lot of theory craft as of current, but done a lot of studying.
Hmm. Most people don't come in with any type of plan. They're just like, give us this type of ship and do what you recommend within
It's
this
less,
budget.
yeah, but that's less fun. It's more interesting to know what your budget is and make something a little more personable, like something more unique to the person. And he'll kind of like we kind of like stand up and kind of like show what he's got on the wrist pad, and it's currently a schematic for in the shape of the image I sent you, Magnus,
Okay.
but like more blueprint form, and he'll kind of like point a few things out and say, see, like most people will put like, you know, the storage area over here. I'm thinking of doing something like over here because a little bit of interior decorating, you can make it really shine and be a little more standoffish. Plus, if someone's trying to get into your ship, they won't know where to look immediately.
I like the way you think. If you wanna... He displays basically a network address on the screen of his terminal. If you want to send me the file to the blueprints the file of the blueprints to that network address, I can take a look at them and, well, seeing as you already planned and such, I'm guessing you've already got a rough idea of what general market cost is going to be, huh?
Yeah, and some of what I've got here is a bit pricey, though I'm hoping integration can maybe ease it off a little bit. That or, if you've been having any issues as of late, I am a bit of a businessman. If there's anything that me or the group can do to, you know, benefit each other, honestly, it'd go a long way since I think we'll be coming here for a lot of our modifications.
Not even getting the ship done and already looking to become a repeat customer.
Honestly, I've been eyeing the shipyard for a little while now. It's just a matter of the money. And hey, I stumbled into some, so.
Yeah, I mean, believe me when I tell you, shipbuilding has gotten more expensive since the Empire came in. Yeah, I mean, being honest, it's been more expensive since the Republic, but it's gotten even worse. Being said, I don't have any. Well, I'm assuming your group doesn't have interplanetary transport of your own just yet, hence why you're here looking for a ship, right?
That would be correct. Most we've got in our group is my small little ship that is really only good for me and a little bit of transport.
Yeah, so,
And by the way, Yanni would have sent over the blueprint file just so he has like a bigger screen to look at it and everything.
yeah, sounds good. So, as he's looking at it, he'll say, so I don't really have any, personal contracts, or the company doesn't have any personal contracts here on Coruscant. I mean, unless you've got big plans to, get into politics and change regulations and whatnot, but your time frame, I'm guessing you want to get off this rock a lot faster than that, right?
Preferably.
Yeah. So, I mean, off-world contracts. I got a few. If you want to take them, and then I don't know, maybe we could work out a bit of a loan type deal where I add a bit of extra work into your ship with the understanding that you'll take care of a problem or two.
I'll see why not. Completely. I guess it would completely depend on what you need us to do. But and by the way, Magnus, did he still have like the whole like button push thing that he's got going on where talking is free, basically?
Yeah.
He'll say, and I mean, our alignments are to ourselves and to our benefit. So you need something that most people won't exactly take with ease. You could convince us. Again, simply depends on what you're thinking.
So, along the Corellian run, we got the biggest contract that... The biggest contract I got is along the Corellian run, between here and the planet of Corellia. So, there's a pirate gang that is getting between our transports to and from Corellia and here, and making business even worse than just the Empire alone. As you could imagine, neither I or my business partners are particularly happy about that. And, well, if this problem could be made to no longer be one, and I will say I don't particularly care how you do it, we would be very much appreciative.
Sorry, just real fast, 'cause I'm listening, but I'll be honest, the first part kind of like flashed away when the last part came in. He's asking for us to deal with a supply issue, or
A pirate gang that is causing a supply
pirate gang?
issue.
Okay. I'll say. Okay, well, as you could kind of tell with the model we're looking at here, not exactly equipped for anything in space as far as dealing with a couple of thieves, but if you know where their base of operations are, might not necessarily need to involve it. That, or
Oh,
if you want to put a little investment and make sure we can try and deal with that problem for you.
so we do have a general idea of where they sit down and call home, we'll say. And while we can't do much in the way of overarming your ship, Imperial regulations and whatnot, can't be drawn too much attention. What I can do is if you can infiltrate their little stronghold, I can provide you with the necessary explosives to make sure their fleet's no longer an issue. This would be a more dangerous option, because you'd have to infiltrate their base, get to their ships, which probably would cause a fight, and, well, I know at least one of them's gotta like explosions. So, you'd get to have that little fix of fun.
Magnus, as far as infiltration things like this, how difficult is that typically to do?
So with the way pirate gangs work, they are usually based on inhabited planets, and their base is usually a facility that is close enough to a landing area that they could, in theory, have their own landing area that could transport supplies between a completely legitimate settlement and their own, or they're just within a perfectly legitimate settlement and just not getting into trouble actively or visibly. What they specialize in doing really depends on the pirate gang. And, yeah. There is definitely, in terms of what type of integration you're looking at would depend on the gang and the planet.
Yeah, so I'm trying to visualize what the mission would entail. It would entail us like kind of infiltrating like a station of theirs, or like
It could be a space station, it could be a compound on the surface of a planet. A space station would be a little harder just because,
yeah.
it's a space station. In this case, it would more than likely be a planet, and either a facility in a legitimate settlement on a planet, or a...
Yeah, because if the pirate gang is big enough to have a station, whew, that's quite big. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say, won't say no to the additional transport, but I think we could maybe handle that, especially if you could provide us a little more stealth, not necessarily artillery, but I'm thinking they might be based on the ground somewhere, and as long as we can hide our ship away and not be seen before we're able to head on in, should be able to get the jump on them, bare minimum.
So you are most certainly correct. They are based on a planet. Specifically a planet that has a legitimate settlement that you could land at and set out from there. Whether you go on foot or take other forms of transport is a different question. You would be provided with the necessary paperwork to make the landing and get through any customs checks that might be needed to get your gear to the place you need to go.
Honestly, that might be just all we need then. He'll kind of look to the others. Thoughts, anyone? Sounds like we got ourselves another mission if we want to save a little bit. And he just kind of has a bit of a smirk.
I mean, I'm sure we need to do some gearing up before then, but you've got no objection from me.
Do whatever you gotta
The sooner
do.
we have a leave and a reason, the sooner we have a reason to leave, the better.
You know, he'll nod at that and he'll say, so, if we're able to manage this for you, what would we get for it specifically?
Well, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to negotiation. There are some things that I can think of, and if you're looking for more speed or stealth, I can definitely throw in an additional piece of equipment for your ship that might make that more doable.
Okay. And he'll kind of like, he'll point a few things out to see if like, in terms of like some of like the utility things that he's got going on just for general purpose, he'll ask, is this something that you could provide for us? This would help us with just general courier services and other missions we may or may not need to do for you and others. And he's basically pointing out, like, you know, scanning, the ability to kind of like make sure that we're aware of things around, maybe some like more information on like the data, like the computer, that type of thing. The less needed for our stuff, but more useful in general stuff. I say, if we ever got to deal with the space colony, we're gonna need to see him first, and we don't see him. Uh-oh.
Scanner suite. Yeah, I could see giving that for a guarantee of getting this, at least attempting to get this problem taken care of.
And just thinking about it realistically, so for like a slightly larger, like kind of pirate group, how much can they mess up like a business DM? Since Yanni's a bit of a businessman, he'd have a little bit of an insight to like how much of a stir they can cause with certain transportations.
So, it depends on the size of the pirate gang. To interfere with Corellian shipyards and the entire Corellian run in that regard, it would have to be something that's of notable. It would have to be a gang of notable repute.
Hmm. Okay, and he'll say, and depending on, how less existing they are in terms of interfering with your business, maybe the future visits we come by here for, we could get a little bit something off, because trust me, we are absolutely going to be needing to come back. If our fund was a little higher, we'd be requesting something a lot more interesting. And he'll kind of show like just a small kind of like notepad list of things that he was thinking of, but he'll, clearly didn't make the cut.
I mean, you get this done for me and the company, and we can certainly work out arrangements. I can't make any specifics just yet, just because I need to know you can get the job done. But the possibility is there.
For the sake of our own preparation, you mentioned something of a loan. I'd like to try and keep as much in our pocket for sake of gearing up if we're gonna take on something like this. What kind of arrangement do you think we could make? Maybe half before we depart and half when we come back?
He starts looking through your ship specifications, and you essentially accounted for 200,000 credits?
Pretty much. So he'd be getting like a significant amount right out the gate. I think a loan. I remember seeing something about it. I think it was like 20% of total cost or something. But Yanni's actually saying that he'll pay for half of it right now, since just to show like a bit of good faith and confidence, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely not the typical thing we usually do. Half up front, half when the job's done type deal is more for mercenaries, but I don't think the company would mind taking more money off the bat. I mean, even if the ship gets destroyed, you still owe us the other half anyway, so, you know.
Yeah, and
That
it
being
seems like
said,
with this, Chip's not in any real risk, and depending on what kind of problems they've been causing you, we could always say it's half and half, and you could do something more of like a 40. It depends on how much you'd want to give us for a job well done, but well, you got part of my mentality, right? And he gives a bit of a smile, like with the comment of it's more of a mercenary thing.
indeed,
Not exactly too keen on people running good business.
I understand what you are getting at. Let's go with that. I will say you give us half up front. You keep the rest of what you currently got. Make sure y'all are geared out properly. get the job done. When you get back, we'll talk about the rest.
Alright. By the way, if that's the case, everyone who took off the extra 20,000, feel free to add that back since we don't need to pay that right now. So everyone has like about like 30 something thousand for upgrading. And real fast, I want to put 2 pictures in just general. If anyone has a particular preference for a courier, let me know. Aesthetically, but I was thinking the courier could look something like one of 2 images I sent to Magnus earlier. Let me find the other. I'm personally more biased to the first one though, just because aesthetics.
Yeah.
So for now, we'll say it's maybe the first one if no one has a particular opinion one way or the other. And if anyone has like art, like for potential ideas, we could always switch it before like the ship's technically made. You know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and you know, Yanni will like kind of talk more specifications if they need to kind of discuss the like little nitty gritty detail. Like if Yanni has like a weird kind of like quirk about something, like maybe with the hidden storage area or something like that. He'll answer any questions that he has, you know.
All right. So, the... those are the 2 you're thinking of. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I was thinking of the one. I was thinking of the other kind of like silvery aesthetic one.
The
This one.
triangle.
This one, but I think you said this one's more of like a nav or yacht, and I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, I could see that more being a yacht or a nav just because there's a lot of vertical space to store or set up better navigational equipment or have more like relaxation areas.
Yeah.
That also kind of has more of a Naboo aesthetic to it.
Right.
Sorta.
Okay.
I mean, it's not as Naboo as some of the other Naboo StarCraft, but, you know.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, do we need to roll any checks as far as like leaving an impression or what he's providing us and stuff like that, or was the role play more or less sufficient for it?
I mean, just make me a persuasion check. Let's see what,
Okay.
let's just see what impression you leave with your smooth talking. Because overall, yeah, the RP was good. It did what it needed to do. Okay. He holds his hand out and says, "It's already a pleasure doing business with you. And and we'll have we'll have your new ship done as quickly as we can. So, I just got one question for you. You got a name for her yet? Or are you waiting until she's built?
Few ideas, but I kind of like look to the other. Also, if he held up the hand, he would shake the hand, and I'll say, honestly, really thinking the Silver Martin kind of has a ring to it. Unless anyone has a different suggestion, again, kind of look into the team since it's a ship for us, not necessarily a ship for him.
Anything works as long as I can tell it apart from other ships.
Well, I mean, with the schematics you've given me, it's looking like it's gonna be quite a competent ship. Nothing too flashy, nothing like any of those yachts that the politicians buy, but competent. Personally speaking, I always think a nice, competent ship is better than the flashiness of those yachts anyway.
Ain't nothing wrong with a ship that simply gets its job done and does the job really well. Plus, I
Damn
feel like
straight.
this is very much a good fit for what the shipyard would make. And you'll notice that, like, Yanni kind of like points out certain little details, and there seems to be like intentional room for like personalization if they want to do anything kind of like of the shipyard for it, but left vague enough that they could always just not.
That is very true.
And hopefully our chat with the ship was a nice surprise compared to your previous meeting, and hopefully your next meeting also goes pretty good.
Well, I appreciate the good wishes, and I mean, on one hand, a different meeting being better than a meeting with the Empire, you're not exactly setting a high bar there, but on the other hand, I've certainly had worse private meetings, and I would say overall, yeah, this was a good one. It's not often we build this custom of a ship, and I am quite looking forward to getting it done. Might actually pull out the tools and hop on helping get it done myself.
He has a big old smile and says, "Exactly what I want to hear." Hey, you have at it. And he's like, encouraging it because that's not what he expected him to say, but he'll take it. He respects the personalized customization. And he'll say, "Is there anything else aside from the blueprints and what we've discussed, or
You can leave the credits. You can leave the starting amount of credits with the reception droid up at the front. Other than the blueprints and that first bit of credits, A contact. Some contact information would be the only thing we would.
Right. And Yanni will kind of basically give like his contact information, ID. Small note: when Yanni came here specifically, he very intentionally did not have his disguise up because, you know, there's literally no benefit in trying to fake your driver's ID and stuff like that unless you really have to.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you all, and I think between myself and your group, we both have some preparations and some work to get to. So,
Absolutely.
have a wonderful day, all of you, and I am gonna get to work.
And with a bit of a respectful nod, he'll kind of, when the others are kind of ready to head out, he'll leave with them and won't forget to leave the starting credits. It's 100,000, right? Yeah.
Correct.
100,000.
Alright, so the party has commissioned the ship. The ship will be created to the specification that I would very much like to see a detailed write-up of it, John, when you get the chance.
Yes. I will be sending you all of the nitty gritties because I need to get like all of the names for the mods since I know that some of the ones that I put exist. I just had to cut corners for the sake of gameplay since game time started up a little sooner than I thought it was gonna. But I got you. For a 200,000 credit ship, how long is that gonna take for the shipyard to make? Out of curiosity.
There should be. Shit. So you're looking at a medium ship with a fully stocked workforce. Build a ship depends on the size of the ship and the size of the workforce. Calculation follows.
Also, as a small note, because the past 2 days were completely swamped with ship research, I have not made my own personal queue. If anyone has a weapon or armor that they want, like something specific out of it, let me know. Otherwise, if people could just leave me their dexterity scores and strength scores so I can figure out like what kind of armor fits you best. Yanni did promise everyone a pretty much his own make armor for free.
Well, that segues nicely into a question I had while I was leveling up my character for Magnus. We still get the when we take our 5th level class feat, we still get the ability score modifier, right? Or ability score increase, right?
You mean 4th? But yes, when you get an ability score increase interval,
Okay.
you get a grand total of 2 stat points and the feat. It's just, where do the stat points come from? If your feat gives you a stat point, you get 1 additional stat point to make it a grand total of 2 plus the functions of the feat. Does that make sense, or do I need to reword it because I wasn't clear?
So if it doesn't, then if it doesn't
You
give
get-
you...
If it doesn't give you 1, you get 2 anyway.
Okay.
It's just It's just you only get a grand total of 2.
Yeah.
So if you get one from the feat, you get 1 additional.
So
If you don't get any from the feat, you get 2 total.
Alright.
a good way to describe it is, in Magnus's games, there are no half feats. Half feats are only half in the sense of they tell you what stat you have to abide by for the increase.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially the only thing that the only thing that differs is if you take a feat that doesn't give you +1 in a specific stat, you get 2 that are free to play with.
Gotcha, okay. And another question is, so I read in the book that if you get an additional con modifier, then you add your maximum HP increases by 1 point per level.
Correct.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's just base 5e that your health goes up retroactively when your con goes up.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
So with
So
my,
if you
because I got a new
bump it up
con of-
now,
yeah,
just
I bumped it up to 3, so that means that's a 1 increase from before, so it's +5 now. Correct?
Yes, you've got 5 additional hit points now.
Okay. All right. I'll put those in.
and then you just add that same total con modifier every time you're leveling up, so it'll make sure that math never needs to be done again that way.
Right. And
Yeah.
honestly, I finished adding the 7 lightsaber forms.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
So, you've got 40 days on planet.
40 days, okay.
40 days.
Yeah. Because it's a 200,000 credit ship divided by 5,000 credits per day for a grand total of 40 days.
Probably make all the armors and weapons if people want weapons, and have a decent bit of time to do some income crafting, I think. with that.
Yep, you've got plenty of time and money to have all of your gear modded out, make conversions or upgrades if you might want. For those that got premium chassis earlier, you can upgrade those premium chassis to prototype chassis if you would like to. It's, again, the cost of... The chassis themselves are going to be the minimum cost, which is 1,000 for a premium, 5,000 for a prototype. So you would effectively, if you want to upgrade the chassis of your weapon to a prototype, you can subtract 1,000 from the cost, and instead of the time it takes to make a prototype chassis, you would get total cost of 4,000 in craft time for a cost of 2,000 credits worth of materials.
Two things that I would like Yanni to do, because I'll have to figure out my craft list with the 40 days a little separate. Yanni would ask if those pirates have any notability with Garrick, right? Or
Jorik.
Jorik. I'm terrible with names. I gotta. Can you spell his name so I can add that to my sheet? Because the more I read a name, the more I'll remember it.
Jorrik.
AOR. Let me add him real fast before I forget. But he would ask Jorrik if those pirates are notable in any way, like if they might have an additional bounty on their heads, because they probably do. And honestly, we could probably double cash in on that, because if they're messing with a whole shipyard, they're messing with other people for sure.
So, Yanni,
Yes.
you did, upon, well, so while you're on the way back, you do get a file from the address that you sent your schematics to, detailing a bit about these pirates.
Okay.
You get the name. They are called the Black Suns. And they are a notable pirate gang. You know for a fact that taking out their operation where you're going is not their only operation by any stretch of the imagination.
Got you.
It would be a setback to them, but it would be no means a fatal blow to the gang.
Yeah. Okay. Then I probably wouldn't ask about it if I got that from.
I mean, you wouldn't have to ask Jorrik. You wouldn't have to ask Jorrik if there is bounties. You could ask him what bounties.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good point. He probably would ask if any of the ones stationed on the planet that would probably be sent to me in the same file, if any of those particular members have bounties on their heads, because got a bit of a non-contracted mission to take some of them out, and hey, a little extra cash from actual contracted work is pretty good.
So Jorrik does note that there is a contract out on a pair of Zabraks that work with the Black Suns. They are not given a name, but they are a pair of male Dathomirian Zabraks who call each other brother. They are known to be... It's rumored, anyway, that they are dabblers in the dark side, and they wield weapons that most people believe are myth. And by that I mean lightsabers. The Empire hasn't... As far as anybody knows, the Empire hasn't attacked them and tried to take them out, because they stay well enough off of the Empire's radar. Though, that excuse in and of itself is flimsy at best. Because, I mean, the Empire went and exterminated the entire Jedi Order. They probably don't really care about wasting resources to go kill a couple of wannabe Sith Zabraks. So there might be something more going on there that you might be able to figure out. That's not so much locked to that specific planet, but the Empire has a bounty out for those two Zabraks. Um, doing a bounty for the
Well, we
Empire
don't.
doesn't necessarily make you aligned with them, mind you, so...
That's true, but nothing on our end that we want them taken care of. Then. Okay. Keep that in mind. Is Empire contracted work pretty much like fair enough work? Or is it like, you're not really looked at too greatly for doing it?
I mean, it depends on the mission. Like, if the Empire is putting out a contract to go kill an orphanage full of orphans,
Yeah, I know that's
you're,
fair.
you're generally an asshole if you take it. I mean, don't kill orphans, that's probably a bad idea. But, like, if you're hunting down a specific pirate, most people aren't gonna give you a stank eye for it.
Yeah. It's something to look into because depending on their particular affiliation, could be working with them as a means to an end, or hey, I mean, if they're pirates, extra income.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we could always cash it in using a middleman, just so we could keep our ambiguity, keep ourselves off the Empire's radar too.
well, yeah, I mean, you also know that Jorik could turn it in for you.
Yeah.
I mean, Jorik's not exactly a known quantity as a rebel. So,
They don't have names, that they call each other brother, right?
correct. The names are not given, but the fact that they are Dathomirian Zabraks is a description of itself.
That's Miriam Sabrax. Oh, you're typing it for me. I was just about to send
Yeah.
you and be like, did I spell it right? Almost.
Amina, you would know the difference between Dathomirian and I believe it's Ithonian Zabraks.
Yeah.
So, like, you would know that as a pair of Dathomirian Zabraks, they are probably not the greatest of individuals to be left around the galaxy.
Yeah.
Those that are raised on Dathomir tend to be of a dark side persuasion in the more true sense of the term, meaning they probably would take the contract to kill an orphanage full of orphans and sleep perfectly fine at night.
We'll also say that that Dathomirian Zabraks are also much more likely to be simps than other ones.
What makes you say that?
Aren't the Dathomirian ones specifically all about they follow the Sisterhood of the Night or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, their society is matriarchal and heavily segregated male-female.
Yeah, but are the regular Zabraks like that too?
The Athonian Zabraks are not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess you could say that they're more likely to be simps, but that's not necessarily canonically accurate. It's more like the male Dathomirian
no,
Zabraks are slaves
Mm.
to the Night Sisters. But yeah, so yeah, that gets your point across.
There's that, and it's nothing for to. Actually, I'll send you a message about it. Wait a second, I gotta double check something. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I checked in on seeing if technically this is a contractable mission. Like, we're not doing it for a contract with the shipyard, but doesn't mean we can't do it as a contract in general.
So, I mean, there's at the very least with the Empire, there's always a hey, disrupt X pirate gang operations in this area, and you'll get paid some by a specific Imperial unit. So, like, yeah, there is a general contract out. You're not sure if it's been cashed in because it looks like it hasn't been updated in a while. But, yeah, I mean, you could in theory double and triple bounty up if you are lucky enough to run into these two Zabraks and completely destroy their operation.
By the way, just because I don't, most of what I'll have to be doing today and by extension tonight is more math. Did we have anything else particularly planned in terms of like things that the party is going to get involved with during the 40-day downtime, or are we good to just start on that 40 days and get to crafting, get to upgrading?
I mean, if the party wants to go find work, for example, if the party wants to find another seek and destroy mission, or
I mean, yeah, we could always check in with Jork and see if there's another Seek and Destroy that, anyone else is doing the kind of shenaniganery that the troopers we just dealt with were up to. Especially if they're ruining good business.
yeah. I mean, which order of operations you do it in really depends on the party.
I don't really want for much money right now, so that may change depending on what we do in the next 40 days, but for now I don't really need a lot.
As the crafter, probably gonna want a nice bit of cash, and like, while I could get it from technically crafting, I mean, depending on the mission we go on, we can earn it from that too. And technically make Coruscant slightly less shitty, make it a slightly better place. It really depends. I guess Yanni would ask about it, like, in a general sense, something that can be looked into while we're kind of like figuring out our upgraded armaments. Because, like, the troopers we dealt with, they've been doing their little routine for months on months, for a really long time.
Yeah.
If we need a few days to upgrade and then we want to do something, we can decide then. It's not like us not doing the mission changes much.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
Yeah.
like get our upgrades in before we really
Yeah, before we involve ourselves at all with it, if we are going to involve ourselves with it, we definitely get the upgrades first.
yeah, definitely.
Hey,
So,
Yanni promised y'all some armor. We just dealt with some troopers. Y'all getting some armor.
yeah.
Especially because now he's got money to
Yeah,
do it with.
that's kind of depend on how long we take though, to be fair.
Realistically, at least in terms of armor, 10 days or less. It depends on if Yanni may or may not need some help, which, I mean, untrained help is always a bonus, so.
I mean, Sean's trained a little bit, he can help, so. Um,
Who was it? You that wanted to learn a little bit more of the arms tech stuff? Because
That was me, yeah.
arms tech, yeah. And if you want anything from Yanni, you could help out and technically be learning as you help. It's kind of like a double up since
Yeah.
it'll make the craft faster, and it's technically you learning and studying.
Yup.
But if there's nothing else, Elliot for tonight, like if anything involving a mission, report like, hey, we have this kind of like on the list. I might head out, start doing the math. Honestly, let my brain relax a little bit because brain's been only doing math today.
yeah. I don't think there's anything else. Is there?
I didn't have anything particular planned in terms of um out and out um like combat or anything of the sort.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just a matter of, I think right now everyone needs to like do some math with the crafting rules, figure out what everyone wants.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
everyone could put things that they want to purchase and, like I mentioned before, your strength and dexterity scores, like the actual stat numbers, if it's something Yanni can make, he will. Pretty much at like the typical discounted price. If it's the armor, consider it free. If it's like a weapon or some other accessory, he will probably charge a little more than that just so it's some income for him. But it is not going to be a lot. It's going to be like maybe, for example, if it's like he has to use 2,000 credits worth of materials, he'll probably ask for like an extra 200 on top, like 10% style. You know, nothing much.
That's fair.
That way he can make more armor and he can make more money for ship upgrades, because that's the plan.
All right. Yeah. So for the rest of the time that we would otherwise spend in character, feel free to get an idea of how you would like to do some upgrading. Because I'm fairly certain, like, John's the only one that's thought of it in any great detail outside of the game, and, well, that's because he's John.
Hello.
Where should we put our stats and stuff down for stuff? Just in character concepts, or?
That
Yeah, you
general,
can.
anywhere really, as long as I can see
Yeah,
it and gauge armor, like usefulness. Like if you have a high strength score, probably heavy armor. If you have a high dex score, light armor, in the middle, medium, that type of thing, you know?
put it in character concepts.
Okay. I'll just put my numbers in there. It's 16 for both of them, so. Just realized that I made a really balanced out character, huh?
Yeah, you did. You made the balanciest of balanced.
One sec.
I believe you and I already spoke about what would best fit Visani.
Yes, if you wanna type up the specifications either in the server or DMs, right ahead. It's just a matter of so I can internalize the specific modifications, Yanni would know that Visani's interested in for like now and future upgrades. But, I'm gonna head on out then. Again, anything to do with armor, weapons, any craft, just hit me up.
Alright.
I will see you guys during the week if there's any questions or concerns, or next week for more gameplay. I'm just glad that the math was done, because did
Yeah,
not
go ahead
want
and take a rest from it.
yeah, I did not want to start next week with more math like that, man. I just did all the math now, and I will now proceed to suffer.
Yeah, I'm also glad the ship stuff is taken care of now. Now we can get back to game instead of
Game.
math game.
Making
Oh,
the
boy.
brain hurt.
Yeah, that's kind of why I
Jeez.
didn't plan anything, because I did not know how much discussion was going to be had with
With making the ship.
yeah, the ship stuff, because I hadn't heard anything from you, Sam, and I knew Raj and Sky hadn't put anything in the ship proposal sheets
well-
that I gave everyone.
Yeah, in my defense,
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
No, I'm not saying
Bruh.
that as a you did anything wrong. That's
Yeah.
fine, but like
When it's
No,
so complicated, no
I
one
got
can
It's
be
only
blamed.
fair, honestly.
yeah,
Yeah, when I
Like-
got to looking at it more and more, I was just like, fuck this.
brain pain,
I mean, we're not really
major
going
brain
into.
pain.
I did not
Yeah,
want to go into the
seriously.
specifics of it myself. I just wanted
Yeah,
to...
that's why I prioritize just a general defenses, speed, and then skills. I'm like,
it-
fuck everything else, bro.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if we were going to combat or something, with it, but with as complex as the combat is, and we're just using it to kind of scoot our own asses across space, it's like, yeah, what the fuck ever.
Yeah. If we
It's
if we
just-
want to get involved with ship combat, later. And
Like-
at that point, I'll make myself suffer for the math. Just give me a budget and I will figure something out. Ugh.
Like I said,
as much as I would
you-
like to do like space battles and whatnot, I took one look at how all that works, and I'm just like, that's gonna...
Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
that's not really
It's-
going to be practical.
We were just, like I said, last week, we just glanced at it, and they were like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then we get to look into it, it's like,
But you
what
don't
are we getting
like-
ourselves into again?
You don't like speed-based statistic mechanics where raising your strength raises your speed, dex is your turn speed, so you could turn easier, and con makes both harder on you, but gives you health? You don't like that? Oh, who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna head out. You guys have a good one. And again, let me know if there's any craftables that I gotta be aware of that you guys discuss. Cause Magnus, I think you were about to explain the crafting stuff to them. So
Yeah. So, the general idea of the crafting that I'm working with, and I already explained to John, untrained crafting, you can progress at a rate of 50 credits per level per day. For each proficiency, for each proficiency you have out of 2 possible proficiencies, a tool and a skill, you get an additional 50 credits per day per level, for up to 150 credits per day per level. If you have expertise in the tool or expertise in the skill, the 50 associated with that tool or skill becomes 100. For double expertise, totaling out to 250 credits per day per level. Now, there's also a feat that would give you an additional 50 credits per day per level. And the ship has a crafting station on it, so once you have the ship, you'll also get an additional 50 credits per day per level while crafting in the ship. For a grand possible total of 350 credits per day per level. This, yes, allows you to craft very quickly, and that is the point. I would rather you all be able to make gear that you like than have to worry about what I drop and if what I drop is what you have for your, like, the vision you have for your character. Does everybody like the sound of this? It does put a lot more onus on you to know what you want and to research certain properties that are not necessarily regular, but it gives you the options in a more free sense of the phrase. And I mean, this isn't to say that I'm not going to drop loot for you. It's more, you have the agency in taking that loot and making it what you want. Did anyone?
In one ear out the other. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I had to mute myself for a sec.
Yeah, sure. I'm good with that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, but you understood what I was saying, right? Like,
Yeah, it's on us to research and do stuff for gear that we want, but it makes it that we're much happier with the gear than stuff that we do get.
yeah, and you get to craft at a ridiculously high rate of speed by comparison to base D&D.
Right.
So you can build the gear in-game that you want reasonable amount of time. So currently your base crafting speed per day in an untrained skill is 250. If you are trained in a skill and a tool, that is 150 times 5. I hate mental math, so calculator.
600.
150 times 5 is 750, my man.
Oh, never mind.
Expertises obviously increase that, as explained. I'm not gonna hold you here any longer. If you guys want to get going, that's perfectly fine by me.
Alright.
Just give me an idea of what you are all looking to craft and how long it's going to take per thing before next week. Other than that, unless anybody's got anything they want to talk about, have a nice evening, everyone.
Y'all too.
Yeah.
Yep, see ya.
Later.
Fucking Mike, man. What the fuck?
And,
What's up, Sky?
No, my Mike's just being a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I mean, you're really fucking quiet again.
Yeah. I mean, that's just me. That's just me right now too. I'm fucking sick still.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna head out. I've got some stuff I've got to take care of around the house. I'll catch you guys later.
okay, see ya, Sky.
Alright.
Alright, bye.
See ya.
Alright, so I guess I gotta think of what I want to do to my lightsaber and or vibroblades.
Yeah, I mean, so
That's a lot.
I am modifying the modifications. So if there's anything in particular you're looking at, the reason I want the list before next week is so I can take a look at the mods in question, and if they're part of my trimming, let you know what the changes are. As of right now, the Finesse and Mighty modifications are available for both vibro weapons and light weapons. For vibro weapons, they take the form of oscillators, handles for light weapons. They are premium, so if you'll need to upgrade to at least a premium, which doesn't cost all that much. Between you and Vasani with modifying lightsabers, you can get lightsaber modifications done stupid easy.
Yeah, that's...
You have proficiency. Do you have proficiency in insight?
Yes.
Okay. And you have artificer's influence.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you are crafting at 150 credits per level per day,
Okay.
as is Vasani.
And that would be for
So-
lightsaber modifications, yes?
Correct, for lightsabers.
Alright, and vibro weapons
So-
is slightly different?
Vibro weapons are arms tech.
Okay. Arms tech and what's
Which-
the skill? Proficiency?
Technology.
Okay.
Yanni's got arms tech pretty well covered, too, so if
Okay, so
you
I can
provide
just leave that to
Yanni
him.
with... Yeah, if you provide Yanni with some assistance, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Between you and Vasani, you can get 1,500 credits worth of progress made on items per level per day.
Okay.
So, you, me, and Raj can talk about lightsaber shit, and we can all get working on making sure those modifications get done in a timely manner. Raj can't really add all that much, but an additional 50 credits per day per level is still an increase of 100 credits overall.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no. 50 credits per day is
Per
200.
level.
Additional 250 credits, sorry.
Yeah.
So 2,000 credits per day per level assistance.
Yeah, so we can get, like... We can get basically all of us equipped. Within
Oh,
a pretty
definitely.
reasonably... Like, within like a week, maybe. At most.
Oh, most certainly. Vasani doesn't need much in the way of modifying her lightsaber, because it's already a light Nodachi.
Mm.
The only plans I have right now for her would take the combined efforts of the three of us less than a day. Because I just want to upgrade it to a prototype chassis and give it a mighty hilt. Because it's a two-handed weapon, so it has to have the mighty hilt. The difference is a finesse hilt versus a mighty hilt. They do the same thing functionally to the weapon, except finesse allows to trigger sneak, whereas mighty does not. In terms of melee weapons.
Yeah, I might want to get that finesse on my dual phase saber as well.
Yes, because the dual phase saber is a versatile weapon, correct?
Yeah.
Then yeah, that would be the one you would put on it anyway. If you're gonna go dex focus, that would definitely be the way to go.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're gonna go strength focus, you could also do the inverse and get for the lightsaber, I believe it's. Is it? What's the requirement for your dual phase in terms of dex requirement?
13.
Oh, so you would only need the most basic of removers, which is easy enough to do and cheap. Where is it? 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 Oh, there it is. Stabilizing Fighting Cell is a standard modification, and it removes a dexterity requirement of 15 or less.
Okay.
So the question is, do you want to be a dex or a strength focus? More so than...
Yeah. I put most of my points, initial points into strength, but I think I might want to start going dex actually now. So,
Okay, so then the hilt it would be.
yeah, I also have a couple lightsaber forms that allow me to engage in two-hand fighting. I was looking into it. I do need light weapons for those though, so is there a way to make my lightsabers lighter or my vibroblades lighter as well?
Yeah, there's modifications that give weapons the light property. Just be aware that, like with base 5e, engaging in two-weapon fighting, even with light weapons, does mean your offhand does not add your strength or dexterity modifier to the damage.
Yeah, alright.
So it is overall more damage output because you're making an additional weapon attack, but just be aware that additional weapon attack will be at a slight decreased overall damage
Yeah, that's
when
fine.
compared to your main hand.
Yep, that's fine.
Now that being said, you can also get an additional fighting style, which is just called two-weapon fighting, and that'll let you add your strength or dex to the offhanded weapon if you so desire. And that would be something you could get at an ability score interval.
Yep.
But, so we need modifications. Just give me a moment. I am getting to item modification. So, for vibro weapons, it is called the Finesse Oscillator. Wait, no, that's not. Never mind. That's Finesse. Hold up, hold up. Light Oscillator for vibro weapons.
Okay.
It's a premium modification, which means you need at least a premium chassis, but it has no further prerequisites, and yeah. Go for And for light weapons, it's just called the light cell. Again, it's also a premium modification, so there you go.
Okay. So,
So what I will say is perhaps look into the idea of getting vibro rapiers and and light foils, just because they already have finesse on them. You lose out on the versatility, but you could convert at least. What sort of weapons do you have is the question. Sorry, I'm not trying to tell you how to play the character.
that's fine.
I just don't know your experience level, so
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've never really delved too much into like modifying equipment and whatnot. It's just
okay.
been using what I've been given most of the time I've been playing. So
Okay. So you've got a war sword, a two-man. Got a vibro katana. Okay. Dual face saber. War sword, vibro. Okay.
and I
Okay.
do have a Vibro Buster, but I can't use it yet because it's Dexterity 19. So while I don't have it equipped, I do have it.
Yeah, that is something that you can definitely start making preparation to use. You'll need either a higher dexterity or a compensator for it. I will say this, it looks like you're trying to spread yourself a bit thin in terms of fighting versatility.
Yeah.
And while I get the temptation to do so, as a DM, I would advise perhaps choosing one and focusing in on it.
Yeah, I was starting to think that as well when I was looking through all my stats and whatnot. So for the level.
I mean, with the base you've got, you can go just about anywhere in terms of physical stat requirements. If you want to go dexterity based, you could swap out your mesh armor for a set of light armor. And now that you've got the robe, you would be really good with armor class and also pretty good overall in terms of stats. And even with that, you don't really need to worry too much about strength, because you could always get Yanni to put powered on your armor, which would set your strength score at certain intervals based on the rarity of the powered armor modification.
Yeah.
So if you wanted 20 strength and 20 dex, you could modify your armor with either agile or powered, and one of them would just be artificially modified rather than naturally modified.
Alright.
So there's ways of getting your stats all around up.
Yeah.
And if you would like to discuss it more in the future, I am more than happy to dig into some of the mechanical stuff and give tips or pointers or any other form of advice that you might want, or I don't want to assume, but also potentially need. Again, I'm not sure your experience level overall with D&D, so
Yeah, that's fine.
don't want to make assumptions. Point being, you ever got a question, you can always DM me.
Mhm.
Not, I don't bite.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be it. I'm probably gonna still keep using versatile weapons, just because I just like the versatility of being able to both two-hand and one-hand something.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair
But
enough.
but yeah, it would looking into making weapons lighter so I can two-weapon fight is
Yeah.
probably my next step anyway, so
Alright, well then, light cell and light oscillator are what you will need for light weapons and vibro weapons respectively.
And if I could squeeze it in, maybe finesse on my lightsaber, but that probably might be it.
Yeah, so I've already modified the finesse stuff. Finesse oscillators on vibro weapons can be put on single-handed or versatile weapons, and I don't like the not having the dex requirement because literally every melee weapon it seems has a dex requirement, so I'm ignoring that. So you are able to put finesse on your versatile weapons as you see fit and can afford.
Cool. Can I
Just
afford it is the real question.
yeah, I was about to say the biggest question is can you afford it, and I think honestly, given the fact that you have so much money, means that you didn't have to pay full price with the ship, you're either you either do or you're very close.
Let's look into that now. So I have about 15,000 credits to spare here. Let's
How did you
whittle
give
enough.
20?
Hmm?
How did you give 20,000 additional to the initial 20,000 if you only had 15,000?
No. I at first I had 55,000. That's it.
Okay.
So
You didn't actually have to give the second 20,000 yet, so you can
okay.
put that other 20,000 back. You've got 35,000 to play with.
Oh, okay.
Your
Cool.
group just owes the other half upon completion.
All right.
And you'll get more credits upon completion of various missions from other sources, so you'll be able to make anything you spend back.
Okay. All right. So that's what I've got to work with here. Let's see. Let me look at the. Where are the mods?
So you need to add. Well, you need to upgrade your. Where are they? Enhanced items. Okay. So you need your. So upgrading your weapon chassis to premium is going to be 1,000 credits apiece. So if you want to upgrade 4 weapon chassis to premium, that'll be 4,000 credits. Or you can go up to prototype with your current level, which would be 5,000 each for a grand total of 20,000 for just the chassis. The finesse handles. Okay. So the finesse oscillators are 1,000 apiece because vibro technology is cheaper than light weapon technology. The finesse hilts are 2,000 credits apiece. And then the light oscillators to give your weapons the light property are going to be 1,500 apiece. And the light cells are going to be 2,500 apiece. So in theory, upgrading to prototype might not be the wisest use of your credits right now. For chassis, at the very least. Luckily, premium chassis give you 2 mod slots, and that's all you need at the moment.
Okay. I can spare to upgrade to prototype on my lightsaber at least, so I think I'll do that.
Okay.
And then premium for the rest.
Alright. Are you upgrading just one lightsaber or 2 lightsabers?
I only got the one right now, I think.
Okay.
I would like a second one at some point, but I currently don't have the means to get a second one, I don't believe.
So, I'm not going too heavy into specifying what crafting materials are.
Yeah.
If you specify what kind of lightsaber you want, if you buy half of the items cost in quote-unquote crafting supplies and take an amount of time equal to the cost of the weapon, you can craft yourself a new lightsaber. Going and buying one, not really an option.
Yeah. So, given the time and the money, I can get myself another one. Yeah? Is essentially what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, if you've got the money and the time to do it, you can outfit yourself with additional lightsabers, yes.
What would be the time and the money?
I mean, it's another dual phase saber that you'd be looking for, correct?
Maybe. There's some other ones I'm looking at, but yeah, that's a start.
Yeah, it would have to be one that lacked the two-handed property, just because if you want to two-weapon fight with it,
Yep.
you would need to have the versatile property at most. So, weapons, martial light weapon, and I'll further narrow the search by using versatile. So, I mean, there's dual phase, there's light katana, martial lightsaber, Sith saber. There's plenty of options. broad saber. Not sure why you would versatile the broad saber. Looks like damage is better if you single hand it because D4 versus 1d8. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Let's go with the light katana since that's a little cheaper, a little less damage, and when two-handing it. But it's going to be an off weapon for the most part anyway, so I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So I mean, a day, and
A day and
let's go with 460 credits worth of quote-unquote crafting materials. Or lightsaber crafting materials.
okay. So let's.
And don't you already have a light katana as well?
I have a vibro katana.
Oh, okay. Oh, and that makes a good offhand for dual-wielding vibro weapons.
Yep.
So you'll have your dual-phase saber in your main and your light katana in off. What is the vibro equivalent of dual-phase? It's a jagged vibro blade. Do you have a vibro blade that is the equivalent of your dual phase saber?
I thought I did, but it doesn't look like it. I do.
Do you have any other vibro weapons that you can maybe salvage to take some cost off of the credits?
I mean, I can totally part with the war sword, so. And
How
maybe
much?
convert that to a jagged vibro blade if that's the need.
Ah. So you can actually convert that and profit 1,000 credits worth of vibro weapon materials.
1,000 credits worth?
1,000 credits worth of vibro weapon materials, which Vasani very well will most likely buy off of you. Because I need to convert my Vibro Claymore to a Vibro Nodachi, and I have to buy those anyway.
Okay.
So if you want to just convert that 1,000 credits worth of materials right back into credits, you can very easily do so.
And that would be a profit from converting it over to a jagged vibro sword, correct?
Yeah, Jagged Vibro Blade.
Right. So we'll do that then. Convert.
Because the jagged is 650 versus
Nice.
the War Sword's 1,650.
That is pretty cheap.
By comparison, yes.
Alright, so I guess I'll do that and then. So, prototype for my lightsaber, premium and everything else, making a vibro katana, then putting light oscillators and cells and finesse oscillators and hilts,
So the
Trying to put this all
finesse.
together here.
So here, just I don't know. Have you written what I was saying out, or
Some of it, yes.
you have what the hilts and oscillators cost?
Yes, 1,000 for the oscillator and 2,000 for the hilts. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Just wanted to make sure you got the necessary information.
Yep.
Oh, and I mean, since we're sitting here talking about this, if finish with what you don't actually have to.
What was that?
If we get everything worked out tonight, you don't actually have to send me a write-up. Just saying is all.
Okay, that's cool. Just jotting down as notes for just my
Yeah.
own sake.
Yeah.
Would I also need to get a chassis for my light katana as well, or?
You could build it with the chassis inside, like already in it. It would still cost the same amount, but it's
Okay.
it would be there.
I'll give it a premium chassis then. So that would be an extra 1,000 credits.
Correct.
So Dual Phase Saber will have both the light oscillator and the finesse oscillator.
Indeed.
Then the Vibro Katana will also have a finesse hilt and light oscillator. Oh crap, instead of a light oscillator, it's a light cell for the dual phase.
Yeah.
Yep. So that would be a finesse hilt for the lightsaber as well. Whoops.
Yes.
So light oscillator and finesse oscillator. And then my war sword, converting it to a jagged vibro blade, then giving it light oscillator and finesse oscillator.
And adding
And then
adding the chassis into it. Yeah.
And then adding a premium chassis, yeah.
Correct.
And then Vibrobuster, I'll just give the premium chassis to it. Is there a way I can take off the dex requirement to mitigate it a little bit, or so I can properly use it? Or...
So with that, you would be looking at needing you would need a much higher chassis than you can currently craft, because you would need a legendary modification, the Compensation Oscillator Mark III.
So
which removes the dexterity requirement of 19 or below.
So, and that would require a legendary chassis, yeah?
Correct.
Which would be...
expensive and outside of your ability to craft at the moment.
Okay, so we'll just leave the Vibrobuster alone for now then.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's see what the general cost of everything is going to be then. We're gonna have a prototype chassis for our dual phase saber, then the light cell. Whoops. So that's 4,000 plus 2,500 plus 2,000. And then adding the premium for my Vibro Katana. Then the light oscillator. Fuck.
Ooh, shit. Sorry. I thought I was in. I thought I was Sony's sheet.
That's fine.
I didn't pay much attention.
That's fine. Where was I? 1,000 premium. Okay, then a light oscillator, 1,500. And a finesse oscillator, 1,000. Then another premium chassis. With a 1,000 credit profit with a light oscillator.
Indeed.
And a finesse oscillator. And then for my light katana, 460 for quote materials, extra 1,000 for its premium chassis, and a light cell, so I can 200 it.
You mean 2-weapon fight with it?
Yeah, 2-weapon fight with it, yeah.
Yes.
So that would all told be 18,460 credits. I think I did the
Nice.
math right there. So yeah. I'll deduct the credits there.
And
Leaving me
you
at
can.
15,595.
So you've got 150 credits per day per level. Vasani's got 1,000 credit, or I'm sorry, 200 credits per day per level. Between the two of you, that's 1,750 credits per day per level. Let's see how long that would take. How much did you say that was?
That was 18,460.
11 days.
Cool. So now it's time to put all those modifications into the inventory here.
Vasani's lightsaber modification takes 7 days. And 7,000 credits. What does Yanni have in terms of...
for kinetic. Yeah.
Means that it seems like we've got yours all squared away and accounted for. I think I'm going to head out for the... If there is nothing else, I will either talk to you sometime during the week or next week.
Cool.
Alright. Have a good one.
See ya. Okay, light and finesse properties, and just to make sure finesse does do what I think it does, yes? So I added the light and finesse to the dual face saber. Finesse. Just to see what that does again. That makes me choose between strength or dex. Now that I'm committing to being more dex based, and since dex is equal to strength now in my build, I will add dex for each of these. Hold on, is it for the damage roll? Attack and damage roll, gotcha. Technically I don't need to do this right now, considering that they're all the same. But it would be nice. Dex. 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 Meaning that this shall now be Dex. And then Dex. I also need to edit this since my vibro, my two-handing of a vibro blade isn't necessarily going to be 1d12. Is it? Oh no, it will be 1d12. Alright, so I don't need to change that. And then give myself a light katana. Which I will give an additional light oscillator. Or light cell. Wait, did I already... Fuck, did I account for that in the calculation? I don't remember if I did. Fuck. What does it already have? It already has versatile. I would need to add. Did I already account for that? Is the question. I accounted for the light cell, not the finesse hilt. But that should be fine. because it's gonna be an offhand weapon, if anything. So I'll give light katana with the light property then. That's an attack. And after I add this, I should be done with the game. It will be all for now. Where's the light katana? There it is. And then add on the light property. It's 2.75. Counts. Okay. That is gonna be both dexes, and its base is going to be 1d8, I believe. Weapons. Yeah, 1d8 energy. Cool. I doubt I'm gonna be two-handing either of my katanas, so I'm not gonna add those in right now. Especially considering that two-handing my lightsaber and or vibroblade is going to be much better for me anyways in the long run. Alright, that's all the math. I can't imagine having to do that for the fucking ship. So today has been a fairly nothing day in terms of like progressing in the game and the story of the game, but that's fine. I should probably head off the call. And might end the stream even, actually, considering that, yeah. I don't know if I'll upload this to YouTube, considering there was really nothing happening and, whatnot, but, I mean, we did buy a ship, and there was some roleplay involved with buying the ship, so I might. As for what to do now, I don't know if I want to stream it, but I want to get back to playing Genshin, so, I'll decide if I stream it or not later. I'll just stop streaming for now, so yeah.